Aloha, party people. You are listening to Inside the Desert Oasis Room, episode number 136. This episode is sponsored by Tandawai Rum, the world's largest rum producer and winner of over 170 international medals in the past 4 decades. Check out their webpage at tandawaiusa.com or follow them on Facebook or Instagram at tandawaiusa. This episode is sponsored by Heartland Hemp and Supply Company. All products are broad-spectrum, THC-free, organically grown, and made in the USA. And shipping is free on all orders. For more information, follow them on Instagram at HH Supply Company or place your order today at heartland-hemp.com. This episode is brought to you by the Magic Zombie Glass, which turns your regular tiki cocktail into a potent voodoo potion that will raise the dead before your very eyes. Just pour a cold beverage into this authentic 13.5-ounce chimney-style glass, and a zombie will magically come to life. Add a bit of mystery and excitement to your backyard luau's this summer by heading over to the Magic Zombie Glass Kickstarter page. For only $20, each order comes with a Magic Zombie Glass and other exclusive collectible items, only available through the Kickstarter campaign. This campaign ends on June 30th, so act fast. Head to Kickstarter now and search for the Magic Zombie Glass. Again, that's Kickstarter.com and search for Magic Zombie Glass. Today we chat with Ruby Champagne. Ruby Champagne is an award-winning burlesque performer, dancer, and pinup model, whose accolades include Miss Viva Las Vegas in 2010, Best Soloist at A-BurlyQ in 2012, Queen of Burlesque at the San Antonio Burlesque Festival in 2014, and most recently crowned as Miss Tiki Oasis in 2018. On this episode, we chat with Ruby at her local tiki bar, the Bamboo Club in Long Beach, California. Hear how she got her start in burlesque, how it changed over her 13-year career, and who we think would best portray her if a movie were to be made about her life. As always, I hope you enjoy this episode as much as we did bringing it to you. And if you did, hit that subscribe button. Subscribing makes it easier for you to follow our adventures. Shares on your social media pages are always appreciated, and if you'd like to help support the show, go to desertoasisroom.com to pick up some merch or make a donation. This podcast does not survive without the help of its sponsors or its listeners, so every purchase or donation, no matter the size, is totally appreciated and helps keep this podcast coming to you every week. Okay, here she is, the Mexican Spitfire of Burlesque. Give it up for Miss Ruby Champagne.
Inside the Desert Oasis Room.
Aloha, Ruby.
Aloha.
Thanks for joining the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy I finally got you on the show. I don't know if you remember the first time we met.
No.
It was about 10 years ago at the Brixton. You were dancing with the Hula Girls.
Okay.
Yeah, and we took a cool photo together that I'm really embarrassed about now because I'm making a stupid face. But it was fun. I mean, it was, I don't even know if the Brixton is still around.
I was going to say, is that even around
I don't
anymore?
know. It's over there on the...
Redondo
Beach. Yeah,
oh my gosh, yeah.
I know that they're like side by side. So
Wow.
I wouldn't have expected you to remember that because you've probably met 1,000 people and done 1,000,000 shows.
That was a long time ago.
Right. So it was a long time ago.
But thank you for sharing that memory. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome. So anyway, let me start by saying cheers.
Yes. Ching ching.
So for all of our listeners that are hearing this, we are at the Bamboo Club in Long Beach.
Bamboo Lounge.
And
Bamboo Club. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, I think they call it the Bamboo Club.
I call it my favorite place.
There you go. This is Ruby's home bar.
Yes.
Yeah, so pretty cool. I'm having a painkiller. She's having a 3 dots. I'm supposed to be dry right now, but I'm making an exception for you, Ruby. So.
Oh, yay.
So let's get into this.
Yes.
have a bunch of standard questions that you've probably answered a million times, but I'm going to ask you anyway for the benefit of our listeners.
Yes.
And I think that you have a fascinating background because you've been able to persevere in this, like people come and go, right?
True.
In any
True.
scene, and you've made quite a name for yourself. So with that said, for our listeners that don't know, let's talk about how long you've been performing. How long have you been performing as a burlesque dancer?
I have been a burlesque performer for 13 years.
13 years.
Yes. Going on 13 years. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Yes. It is quite an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Yeah. To do anything that long and still be like at the top of your game, still be passionate and that is quite an accomplishment. Was there a catalyst that motivated you to try your hand at burlesque?
Yes.
There was.
It all sparked in New York. I lived in New York a few years ago.
Okay.
And I would attend all the burlesque shows possible in New York. And then I discovered the New York School of Burlesque. And after a breakup, boo.
Oh, yeah. Those are always bad.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what pushed me to get out there and do something and not be sad for some stupid dude.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, that's
so
part
that
of
pushed
empowering
me.
yourself out of that situation, right?
Exactly.
Is to dust yourself off and say, I don't need him.
Right.
I'm going to do my own thing.
I'm going to do something amazing.
What brought you to New York in the first place?
I wanted to move there.
Oh, okay.
That was it. I just liked it. I loved it. I loved it so much that I moved there.
Was
but
that-
yeah, that was it.
That was like something you always just wanted to move to New York?
No, I didn't even. It wasn't even a dream of mine ever. I'd never been. I went in March of 2003 with a group of girls. Well, I didn't go with a group of girls, but I went as kind of like a what they call stage kitten nowadays. But it wasn't anything with burlesque. It was actually an all-female salsa dance company, and I went because my friend who directed the dance company, she wasn't able to go, so I went as just kind of like a pair of eyes to make sure everything was running smoothly, that they danced the right moves and all that stuff. So that was basically why I ended up going in March of 2003. I loved it so much that I moved that October of 2003.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. I loved it, the pace and the energy and just the city. I just fell in love instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's understandable. I can see how people would fall in love with New York.
I don't know if I would now. So
really?
I'm glad I did it then when I did, and I'm glad that I had the guts to just pack up and go, literally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if I'd be willing to do that now.
Is that because you're a different person now? Or is that it is?
And I'm older.
Okay. So so the question was going to be if it was because you're a different person now, or if because New York is different now. It's probably
both.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Because I'm sure the vibe is still there, but I'm sure the energy is different, and even the industry, like burlesque industry, is different. Even my day job industry is different.
Okay.
So, and then just being older, I don't really want to deal with that pace because it is tough, and it is definitely.
I get it.
Surviving in New York, you don't even live in New York. You survive in New York.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a young person's city in my mind because, what do they call it? The city that never sleeps.
Yes.
And I need my sleep, man. I mean,
for sure.
like even like these tiki events that they just. I just can't hang anymore.
I know. Yeah.
So as we get older, we slow down a little bit. I totally.
It's true.
Get that.
It's totally true. And it's funny because I have some friends that are like, "No, that's never gonna happen to me." I'm like, "Just you wait.
Yeah, you watch.
Mark my words.
It's gonna catch up. Watch."
Yep.
So, you went there with a dance group, and so you do have a dance background.
I do, but it's not professional per se, just a hobby.
Okay.
I used to go salsa dancing like 5 nights a week.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was my other passion.
Do you think that helped you with, your burlesque dancing?
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because I definitely incorporate a lot of Latin moves, which I feel like I'm known for, and that's one of my signature brands, I guess, that I'm known for is Latin moves and classic style.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That was actually going to be one of my questions, if there was a particular style that you lean towards. Have you thought about trying any other styles, or is it really something that you just prefer to do, that Latin style?
I pretty much stick to the classic striptease burlesque style, and then I'll incorporate Latin moves when the act calls for it. And I do have one act that's what I call out of my box, where it's a little bit more like funk music, and that's pretty much as far
That sounds
as
cool.
neos that I go, because I feel like it's just more organic for me to do the classic style,
Right.
and that's what I'm known for. And I feel that there's so many people doing different varieties nowadays, so I feel like it's okay to stick to my roots and stick to what I'm best at.
Yeah. I get it. There's a lot of crossover with burlesque and pinup.
Yes.
So with the dancers and the models. I know that not all the models dance, but it seems like all of the dancers have some form of modeling under their belt. And other than that performance aspect, I mean, how are they the same and how are they different?
I feel that they're the same because a burlesque dancer, or any dancer for that matter, knows their body movement. They know what angles they look best in. And so I feel like for them to pose, for an image to be captured, is easy because they know, like, okay, I'm going to stop right here because that's a good angle when I'm doing this type of thing. So I feel like maybe that's why it's an easy transition for performers to model. Maybe not so much model to performer because
Right.
they're used to just posing and not the movement part of it, which is noticeable when there's models.
You notice that, then
I
you can
do,
see it.
yeah, because their movements aren't fluid.
Yeah. Okay. How different do you think burlesque is today? Because we talked about just a few minutes ago, you're saying that it changed over the years. How different do you think it is today than it was, not just in the past couple of years, but say in the golden era, which is like 100 years ago, which is crazy.
I
right?
know, yeah.
Early 20th century.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'll say this. So before you answer that question, you know, this tiki world that we are in, and I know that you're more of a burlesque person than a tiki person, but I know that you're familiar with the tiki culture because I see you at a lot of events.
Yes.
But this thing that we do today, you know, it never existed in the 50s and 60s, you know.
Right.
We're celebrating what existed in the 50s and 60s, but it's completely different what we do today, right?
Definitely.
Even though it probably, a lot of the people in this scene probably think it looks the same. If we took a time machine and went back there, I bet it would look completely different.
Probably.
What about burlesque? What do you think is different today?
Today, it's different that there are very many different varieties of style of burlesque. So not only is there the classic striptease burlesque, but there's also what's known as neo-burlesque, which is basically everything under the sun.
Right.
You know, there's, oh my gosh, there's different like comedic levels, more theatrical levels. There's costumes that can cost thousands of dollars. I don't know how people can afford that.
Right.
Like, can I have a sponsor so I can buy all the crystals to put on my costumes?
Right. How do you feel about all that neo stuff? Because, you know, I'm a purist when it comes to tiki stuff, and I'm unapologetic about it because the more it gets watered down, for lack of a better term,
saturated,
the farther away it goes from being authentic to what it was.
Right.
Yeah. So
I think it's great because everybody has their freedom to express their art however they choose. So in that sense, I love the neo burlesque and it's fun to watch, but I'm not. I won't be in those shows, because it's just not my style.
Okay.
But I don't turn down on it or I don't look down on it. I think it's great because it's, you know, we all have a channel to be able to express ourselves in however we feel comfortable and however we want to express our message to the world. So
Right.
I think it's lovely.
And tell me about, when we talk about the golden era of burlesque, was it more underground back then? Was it like
It was
part
actually a little more mainstream than realized. Yeah, because a lot of the performers from back in the day, like 40s, 50s, they were making bank.
Oh, were they really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They were making like $1,000 a week back then.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Like, I don't even make $1,000 a week.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, and then, it was just a different era, of course. So they were getting, fur coats and jewelry and gorgeous beaded gowns. But the top performers like Lily St. Cyr and Tempest Storm.
Okay.
My gosh, Dixie Evans. I could go on about performers. They were making great income, great living, buying homes. So it was definitely stronger than it is now. Absolutely, as far as like the support it gets by the public in that sense.
Really?
It was more mainstream. Like there were like theater, there were burlesque houses, burlesque theaters back then. Like, sorry, my history is not coming up to my brain right now. The vaudeville theaters, Minsky, like there were like huge productions.
See, that's surprising to me because I feel like we're just more progressive as a society today, right?
Yes.
And so the fact that you're saying that it was probably more accepted, or it was more accepted back then, I would have thought it'd be the other way around.
True.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then along those lines, I mean, you said that this is like your 13th year, right?
Yes.
So how different are you today than when you first started? How about that?
Oh, let me tell you.
What would you say has changed about you, your performance, your style, all of that stuff over the years?
It's definitely changed, and I can personally see it, and I'm sure if people see videos, which are somehow on YouTube, because I don't upload
really?
videos.
Are they up there?
They're somewhere in the YouTube world, yes. And I think you see the evolvement of how I become a little bit more open on stage and more expressive.
Is it hard to watch those early videos?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, totally,
yeah.
right?
I'm like, oh, my gosh, what was I doing? Like, how did I think that was good? And, like, how did I think that was enough crystals? What was wrong with me?
That's funny.
But it's also fun to see, and it's also fun to see because I see that I have improved and I have progressed and I have moved forward. And so back then compared to now, I would say actually one of my things that I've publicly shared with social media is working on expressing more sexiness, because I'm known for being cute, but nobody really associates me with being sexy. So when I get feedback...
I disagree with that because I associate you in that way.
Well, maybe some do and I just don't realize it, or maybe they do and maybe it's just in my brain I don't accept that, or I don't see it, or I don't know. But in my brain I don't process the sexy part of it. So when I've started that journey to express more of sexiness on stage. And so when I get feedback, especially one in particular was Berlin last year when I performed, and one of the performers came up to me and she said, "Ruby, how do you do it? You're sexy and you're cute. How do you do that?" And I just squealed. I'm like, oh my gosh.
You're
I'm like,
a woman
thank
of all
you.
talents.
I'm like, that's great. I'm like, because I love that you see both, and I totally welcome that. And if I get that kind of feedback, I feel like, okay, I'm doing well, and I'm showing what I've been wanting to show. That's like it's inside.
Yeah.
I just have been learning how to express it more.
I will say this. I can't say that I'm a connoisseur of burlesque. I don't really go to I don't go to any burlesque. Let's put it that way. I pick up burlesque when I'm at Tiki events. So at Tiki Oasis, when they do burlesque shows, and other events that I go to where there is burlesque performances happening. And when I see the way that you perform, as somebody that is not even as familiar as somebody that is a connoisseur of burlesque, even I can tell the difference. So when you say your style is more classic, I can see that. Mm-hmm. But I think that sexiness is part of that style.
Yeah.
Because it was, it is an art, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
And it was the art of striptease back then. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So I can see that. So, this going back and seeing the old videos that you're talking about on YouTube, mm-hmm. It's funny because I get that same cringe feeling when I see Facebook memories.
Oh my gosh.
Pop up. And stuff pops up from like 9 years ago, 10 years ago. And I'm thinking, what the hell am I wearing? I thought I was cool back then, and it looks so stupid. If you could go back to that Ruby Champagne that started, mm-hmm. and you could say something to her, mm-hmm. what would you tell her?
Put more rhinestones, bitch. It's never enough rhinestones.
Is that really like the rule? There's never enough rhinestones?
Well, that is now. But back then I thought, oh, that's good. That's enough. That's enough fringe. And now I'm like, hell no. More. Yeah.
But is that because now you're more seasoned, or is that because things have changed over the years?
Actually, a little bit of both, yes.
Okay.
Because there's definitely a lot more crystals in performers' costumes now than there were back then. Because I remember, even when I was just going to burlesque shows in New York, they were not nearly as sparkly as they are now. Like, the style has definitely changed. The costuming has definitely changed. But yeah, now I feel like, it's almost like the race for who has the most crystals on their costumes,
really?
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let me ask you this. You've performed in so many shows and competitions all over the world. Mm-hmm. What goes into each of these performances? Let's talk about that. From choreography, costumes, all that stuff. I mean, because the thing is, sometimes, like this podcast, for example.
Yes.
People will hear the polished, finished episode that they're hearing right now.
Right.
But what they don't realize is that, I had to drive 60 miles to get here. We have to sit here and record. Then I have to take this home, and then I have to engineer it. I have to edit it. I have to market it, all that kind of stuff. Right. I got to record my intros and my bumpers and put in all my sponsored ads and all that kind of stuff. Then I got to build my sponsors for all that stuff. And then they get this nice and tidy finished episode with a bow, and they think that all I do is party, but they don't realize that however long this episode is, that's the easiest part.
Exactly.
So what goes into one of your performances?
Wow, a lot of labor definitely is involved in the beginning, especially when an act is first being created. It's, putting the idea into fruition as far as costuming, what colors do I want to use, and then a matter of going down to the fabric district or garment district and getting all the trimmings and the rhinestones and the layers, and can I afford to make this, or can I afford to have somebody make it for me because I'm not a seamstress?
So sometimes you make it and sometimes someone else does.
Yes.
Okay.
For the most part, I make my costumes, but there are some pieces where I have had to hire somebody to make them because I can't make some things.
Okay.
But that's definitely a lot of work. Just putting all of that together, putting the choreography together, and then even getting ready for a show. It's like a mindset that I still have to put myself into.
Sure.
And preparing myself to present the best that I can and get ready. So makeup and doing hair, putting the costuming together, pulling it from my costume chest, and that is all definitely time consuming.
And how long is a typical act?
They can average between 2.5 minutes to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Or a little over 5 minutes.
Okay, so what I'm getting at for our audience is that it sometimes could take weeks.
Oh,
for a 2 to 5 minute performance.
or even years, because some of my acts that pretty much the ones that I've developed for festivals or competitions, those have been acts that I have taken years to develop. And one of them I'm actually still working on. Like, I still feel like it needs work. Yeah, and I've actually coached with other performers, and I've workshopped my act with them to get their feedback. And so yeah, it's constantly honing my skills and getting professional feedback and helping me to get to that next level, because I only know so much. So I need an outside person to tell me, this is what you can do to
So
go
it's
further.
kind of like a peer review or of some sort.
Yes.
When you say coach other performers, are you helping them with their choreography?
No, they're helping me.
Or they're helping you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever choreographed other performers
No.
before? No. Is that not a standard practice?
Yes, there are some performers that do get their numbers choreographed.
Okay.
But I feel that's probably for the people that I'm getting coached from, so they're the ones that they're going to for that type of choreography.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the places that you've visited, and in particular, are there any moments during those visits or those performances that stand out to you?
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
I know. I'd
say the most recent was Prague. I absolutely loved Prague, and there's a tiki-taki bar in Prague, which is amazing.
Okay.
I totally loved it there. But that was such an incredible experience being in that festival. I first thought that it was not going to be a good experience, because I thought they don't really correspond very well, and how's this going to go? And then once I was there, it was like they were on it. It was top notch, and it was amazing.
And how was
really
Prague?
amazing.
I mean, like, so some of these places, you know, a lot of bands, for example, when they go on tour, as they're walking out to the stage, there is someone holding a sign that says, "You are in Seattle," right? Or "You are in Prague," right?
Yeah.
So that when they go up on stage, they can say, "What's happening, Seattle?" and they don't really get to experience where they are.
Okay.
Do you get to do that?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So is there any place that you like more than others in particular?
Well, first and foremost, Paris, of course, is
Paris,
on the top of my list. But Madrid is actually like right there with it. Yeah, I love Madrid. And there's also some amazing tiki bars in Madrid.
There's a lot, actually. Well, I should say in Spain, I think. How far is Barcelona from Madrid? Is it
driving wise is probably like a few hours, like 4 hours, maybe 3-4 hours.
I know that there's tiki in Spain, which is weird to me, but I think it's cool. So,
yeah. I love it. I didn't get to go to one of the bars because they were closed, but another one, Tiki Chateau, my friend knows the owner, so he opened it so I could go and take pictures and sit on their bar and take pictures.
Nice.
And he showed me like these really unique mugs that only he has.
Right.
And it's so
And that's
cool.
the thing. They also only have their own mugs out there. Right?
Yeah.
So the only way to get it is to go out there.
To go there,
You got to go out there.
It was amazing. Yeah.
That's cool.
If you have a product, service, or event that you'd like to bring attention to, we can help. This podcast reaches thousands of listeners in over 100 countries every week. Imagine hearing your ad in this spot just like you're hearing this one right now. Sponsor an episode and get the exposure you deserve. For more information, go to desertoasisroom.com and click on Services. This episode is sponsored by the Tiki Bar T-Shirt Club, where their monthly T-shirt designs pay tribute to a Polynesian bar or restaurant from days long past. Each design is available for a limited time and will never be produced again. For the collectors out there, be sure to check out their subscription program, where they offer a discounted 3, 6, or 12-month plan, or you can always buy shirts one at a time. For more information and to check out this month's shirt, visit tikibartshirtclub.com. This episode is brought to you in part by Steadfast Pomade. Steadfast Pomade is a strong-holding, medium-bodied, water-based styling product for men and women which leaves your hair looking slick, neat, and shiny with a clean, fresh scent. Its unique formula allows you to easily restyle your hair throughout the day and washes out with ease. Steadfast Pomade is American-made and veteran-owned. Available in original and anchor hold. Get yours today at steadfastpomade.com. Tame the waves and keep it steadfast.
So, I want to talk about your, what's the right word? I want to throw some of your titles out there. So, for those that don't know, listen to this. Miss Viva Las Vegas, 2010. Best Soloist at A-BurlyQ, 2012. Queen of Burlesque at the San Antonio Burlesque Festival, 2014. And most recently, Miss Tiki Oasis.
Yeah.
So, woot woot. So let's talk about those experiences and what you did to get those titles.
I danced my ass off. And I won.
Plain and simple.
Well, back then, the Viva Las Vegas competition, it was online voting, which they still do. I think 4 performers still get selected through online voting. And I had tried, I want to say once or twice before and didn't make it, but I was still new. And I was also still new to Southern California because I had just moved back from New York. So, and I was still new as a performer. So, but I thought, why not give it a shot and try and whatever. And so then 2010, I made the finalists. So I thought, okay, here we go. And I'm not a competitive person by nature. So it was kind of crazy to me that I was even doing this because I thought, what am I doing? And how do I prepare to win this thing?
You don't have to ramp up for any kind of performance or anything. So it's really more of like a marketing, like you had to learn about marketing yourself.
Yeah, it was all about blasting posts on Facebook and still on MySpace back then.
I get that because I have to do that for the podcast. If I want to stay alive, I have to, it's like, I never went to school for marketing, but I am marketing my ass off.
Yep, same.
Yeah,
same.
Okay.
So it had a lot to do with that to even get voted in. And then the rest of it was just preparing and, just fine-tuning my act. And then definitely, just dancing my ass off on stage and winning. And I remember Tom Ingram saying, the creator of Viva Las Vegas, that because back then it was audience participation based, the winners.
Okay.
And apparently I broke the clap-o-meter.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
I heard that it was the loudest.
Yeah.
Audience cheering for you that they've probably ever recorded at that event.
Yep.
That's pretty damn cool.
I know.
That's awesome.
It is.
You gotta
very
feel great
awesome.
about that.
I do feel so great and so thankful. I would have so many people tell me I lost my voice because I was cheering so loud. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I love that.
I'm so grateful for that.
Isn't it touching that people support what you do? That they say, hey, you know what? I'm going to vote for you. That's so cool. I love that.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears and talk about your personal life outside of burlesque. Don't worry. I'm not going to tell anybody anything that you don't want them to know. But what I want people to know is that you're more than just a burlesque dancer.
Yes.
So tell us about Retro Riviera.
Retro Riviera is an online boutique fashion website that I created about 2-3 years ago, and it was just a brain baby that I had in my brain, and then I finally decided to launch it with the help of one of my good friends. She's very savvy within the fashion industry. She's been working in the fashion industry for many years, so it was thanks to her that I was able to get it going and launch it. But after traveling so much and my job now, it became very difficult to handle the website. So it's active, but I don't buy any merchandise for it. So it's still there, but I haven't been pushing it. But it was just an idea that I had, and it was essentially at the time the job that I had back then, my day job that I had back then, had cut my salary.
Okay.
And so another friend of mine had said, why don't you start an online store? It can be another source of income. And then my friend was like, I could totally help you, blah, blah, blah. And so that's basically how it started. And then I had actually written a business plan. So it wasn't like, I'm going to start a website and, just go about it that way. I did write a business plan, and I had numbers put together. My dad's a CPA, so he did all that part of it for me.
Right. Of course.
Yeah, but and I consulted with small business administration people.
Awesome.
That they offer free services. So it wasn't like I just woke up and did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just other things started taking over, and so unfortunately I haven't really been running it actively, but it's still there, and I still have people asking me, do you still have this dress or that dress? I might.
So is there any plans to kind of relaunch or anything like that?
I don't know, because I feel like there's so many different things going on in my life right now that I feel like I don't know if that fits what I want to do in my life right now, especially because traveling has become like an obsession.
Yeah, I get that.
So I feel like I'd rather put my money in making those memories, especially right now that I'm able to, that I'm not I'm not sick. I'm able to walk. I'm able to stand. I'm able to, be mobile. And who's to say that in 40 years I can still do that?
Yeah.
So.
Well, if there's one thing that I've learned about life from this podcast, it's that you don't know where the universe is going to take you. Mm-hmm. Where we are today it's where we are today, and it could be a completely different place for us a year from now.
Exactly.
Right? So, when you were doing Retro Riviera, there was probably a time where you thought, this will be here forever. And then a year later, you've adjusted your priorities. Like you're telling me you'd rather travel now with that money. And I get that. Life's too short. So
exactly, yeah. And my day job has been much more consuming than the last one that I had when I started the website. So, yeah.
Okay.
So I do have another life as far as my day job in construction.
Okay. Well, see, I wasn't going to say anything about your day job.
Oh, yeah. No, people know. I work, my background was an estimator for general contractors, but now I'm a sales rep for architectural metal products.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. So having said that, for those people that know you as Ruby Champagne, the burlesque dancer and pinup, Miss Tiki Oasis, Miss Viva Las Vegas, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. What do you think they would find most interesting about you that most people don't know?
The people that know me as Ruby,
let's just say
I think that I work in construction. They think that's funny because they're like, how do you do, you're like, you're so sparkly all the time, and like, do you wear a hard hat? No, I don't wear a hard hat. Unless I go to a job site, then of course I have to wear a hard hat.
What about things like, and I'm not saying that you're like a mega fan of Duran Duran, but anything like that.
I am.
Oh, you are? Okay. So that's something that people don't know about you that they would find surprising.
I don't think people realize how fanatical I am about Depeche Mode. But that's a new thing, actually. I wasn't so much a fanatical before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I saw them at the Hollywood Bowl 2 years ago now, or over a year ago. Over a year ago. And then I went to see them again in Anaheim, and I went to Mexico City to see them last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you travel there specifically to see their show?
I did.
Did you really?
I did.
Oh, cool. So you are a super fan.
I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's on your bucket list?
My bucket list. Oh, my gosh.
We talk about travel.
Yeah,
I know that's
like
there.
The first thing on my mind is
let's say
go to Japan.
Okay, so let me steer you this direction. So here's what's on my bucket list, just to help you out. I want to ride a junk in China. I want to actually do a backspin on the Great Wall as well. Not that I'm too old to do that, but it's on my bucket list.
You can try.
I wanted to do as I grew up surfing Orange County, and I wanted to surf with Turtle, the character Turtle from the movie North Shore. And about 6 months ago, I had him on my podcast.
Get out.
And he was like, Dude, you want to check that off the bucket list? Let's go surfing.
Stop it. Oh my gosh.
I'm not kidding you. So
that's
stuff
so
like
rad.
that. So what's on your bucket list? Have you thought about that?
I actually have not.
In any detail? Okay.
No.
Okay. But we know
I'd say like off the top of my head is perform in Tokyo or Japan would be amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. How different is it over there though? I mean, like would
I
it be
don't know.
would you have to adjust your act or?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Interesting.
It's a good question. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So now I'm going to ask you some fun questions. So, going down this path, right? So, if you could meet anyone, dead or alive, real or fictitious, who would you choose?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think meeting Cher would be pretty rad.
Really?
Yeah.
Cher. Okay.
Yeah.
Big fan of Cher?
I am.
So, it's not Depeche Mode?
Oh my gosh, meeting Dave Gahan would be amazing.
What about meeting both Cher and Dave Gahan? What about having drinks with both of them?
I could just die. That would be amazing. But I think it'd be amazing to meet Cher because she's had such a great career. She's such an icon.
Yeah.
And I feel like when the world ends, Cher will be left.
Yeah. If you could travel anywhere in time, how about that one? When would you go?
I would say during the disco phase.
Oh, are you a disco person?
I am.
Are you really?
Maybe that's something that people don't know. No, I think most people do. Maybe they don't.
Well, I see your when you dance on
my
Fridays.
Friday dance videos. Yeah. They're very disco-y.
They're fun. They're
I
fun.
love disco. I would totally want to be a regular at Studio 54. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I know.
So what I think of, maybe I'm wrong about this, but when I think of the disco era, so Studio 54 is big, but I picture people in bell bottoms and big afros, like on Soul Train, doing like a Soul Train line.
Right.
That's because I guess it's like 70s?
Yes, that is 70s. Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
not
I'm
really
picturing
disco, I
like
guess. That's
feathered
really more like
hair
funk,
and like
right?
silver pants and like a sequin tube top and
Did you ever used to roller
a lot
skate
of
when you
lip
were little?
gloss. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so did you do it like 70s style?
I still roller skate.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
With the 4 wheels on one.
On quads.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah, quads.
I skate
there you
almost
go.
every day. Yeah.
Right. Oh, do you really?
I do.
Oh, nice. Where do you do that? Do you
On the
just
boardwalk in Long Beach.
All right.
Yep.
You know, because when I was younger, because that was a thing, right? And so here's one that I guess my listeners would never think of about me is that not to turn this conversation on myself, but when I was like 12 years old, we used to go to a skate country. That's the name of the place, right? And we'd put our skates on, and you'd go like in a counterclockwise.
Yes.
And then they do the slow skating where you like the couples one, right? You have to learn how to skate backwards.
And skating
so
backwards.
You could do that.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
My dad used to make my skates.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, like out of sneakers, and then he would put the wheels. I remember they were red wheels. Yeah.
Would he just pull them off a pair of real skates?
No, I think he would get the what do you call it? The plates.
Yeah.
And then the wheels.
So he would just do them all from scratch.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So I had my custom skates.
Yeah, you must have been like. Did you ever used to go to those roller rinks when you were?
I
little?
did, like Holiday and Orange, and actually I used to ice skate as well at Ice Capades in Bray Mall.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
When they had that ice skating rink,
Yeah.
you can't be the same age as me because I'm pretty old. But I used to hockey skate there. I used to play for the Brea Flyers. I played there for 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
In that rink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very few people know that there used to be an ice skating rink at Brea Mall. Yeah.
It was right by a food court, and I used to go there every week. We'd go there multiple times a week because I used to play for this team. I had my Bauer skates and all that. It was a fun thing to do, you know.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Did you grow up out there? Or?
In Orange County, yeah.
Okay.
Yorba
All right.
Linda, Fullerton, Brea.
Okay, so I grew up in Diamond Bar, so Brea was like the middle point between you and where you lived and where I lived. So
right over
Brea
those
Mall,
hills.
that was like the in mall.
Yeah.
Right? It was like super cool. Yeah.
I used to hang out at Orange Mall as well.
The Circle or
With the punk rockers. No, Orange Mall. On Tustin Avenue.
Tustin.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where Main Place is now? How come I don't know? I'm not thinking of. Okay.
Orange Mall. It's on Tustin and
by
like
Lincoln?
off Meats.
Oh, Meats. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like off the 55.
They've like completely remodeled it out. Yeah.
I don't think it's even a mall anymore.
No.
But and then down the road is the Holiday Skate Center.
Okay.
In Orange. Yeah.
I have a feeling that if somebody were to open one of those again, that there would be a little bit of a comeback. I think that people miss that kind of stuff.
I feel like there's more people skating than people realize because the Holiday is actually still open.
Okay. And I agree with you. I think you're right. Yeah,
I feel like it's like kind of like rockabilly and burlesque. I feel like even roller skating is a little bit of a subculture.
Okay.
Yeah, because it seems to be quite popular. Yeah.
Wow.
Even like last time I went to Moonlight in Glendale for an organ night, and there was a good amount of people.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel like there's quite a few people that are into it, and I feel like there's kind of like a popularity of roller skating with burlesque performers lately. I don't know what it is that.
Is this something
we've all just started roller skating?
Is this something that you think that people wouldn't know about you? Is the roller skating thing?
If they follow my social media, they
would know.
Might. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't post too many roller skating bits, but I did post like when I go sometimes.
Okay.
But I don't think most people know that I go almost every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so here's another fun question. If a movie were made about your life, who do you think should play you? I have an answer in my head that I think.
Who would play me?
I'll tell you who I think after you tell me who you think.
I feel like Julia Louis-Dreyfus would be
really?
rad. Yeah.
I wasn't thinking of Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Just because like her spunk and
Yeah.
I don't know. I just love her. The characters that she plays. I feel like that's kind of like how I am. Or at least in my head, I don't know.
Okay.
Who would you say?
I was thinking Salma Hayek.
I was gonna say Salma Hayek at first, but I thought no. I think Julia Louis would capture
because
like
she's got the sexy Latina thing. What was the movie where she was a vampire? Like she did this sexy dance on the
from
bar.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought Salma Hayek. So.
Well, thank you.
So
that's quite a compliment.
Before we wrap, what is the future of Ruby Champagne?
The future's so bright. I gotta wear shades.
I see that you had your name on a wine label.
Yes, on a sparkling wine.
Sparkling wine.
Yes.
Which is like so fitting for Ruby. Well, was it wine or champagne? Should have been champagne if it's
Ruby
Champagne.
It's a sparkling wine because it was made in California. It can only be called champagne if it's made in Champagne, France.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why the bottle only says Ruby.
Okay.
And doesn't say Ruby Champagne. But yes, that was a...
Which are on the bottle?
I am on the bottle. And that was a collaboration.
We know who it is. We know when it says Ruby, we know it's Ruby Champagne.
That is me.
Yeah.
Well, my face is on the label. But yeah, that was a really awesome collaboration with Sort This Out Cellars. And it was years. Like it literally took years to produce.
Wow,
Yeah. Because
really?
he was wanting to perfect the mixture and...
Yeah.
Making sure that there was an amazing product. Because I think that was the first time that they had gone into making sparkling wine.
Okay.
But it's really delicious. It's a Grenache-based wine. And it's amazing, yeah.
Are you a wine drinker?
Yes.
Okay. So did you have any input on how this was coming together?
I actually did. Like the final 4 samples.
Oh, very nice.
We met, we had dinner, and he brought the last 4 samples, and then he said, okay, this is what we narrowed it down to, and then he said, I'll tell you which one we want to go with, and I picked the same one that they said that they want to go with, yeah, so.
See, you're a connoisseur.
Yeah, not really, but.
Anything else like that in the future?
Gosh,
And
I don't know.
Have to be that.
You know,
I mean, like you have performances coming, and
I do have a lot of performances.
Happening.
I would have loved to do some kind of collaboration with, right now being Miss Tiki Oasis, I would have loved to do something with like a rum company or a tequila or a mezcal or something. But I'm not really good about knowing how to reach out to those type of people.
Well, I have a rum sponsor.
Oh.
with this podcast. So maybe we can make something happen.
That would be fantastic.
I can't promise you, but we could talk about
Might
it.
as well throw it out there.
Yeah, why not? Throw it out there, right?
But yeah, I just I welcome all opportunities, and I mostly make my own opportunities. I try to find
and
whatever
I
can.
Right? You have to. Yeah,
exactly.
That's part of the marketing thing you were talking about earlier in the show.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a lot of work, the whole marketing yourself, marketing your brand.
You're a brand.
Exactly. Yeah. But traveling wise, I'm going to Mexico City in June of 2019 to perform in Rocalavera Festival. So that's pretty exciting to go back to Mexico City to perform.
Yeah, it is.
And then later in 2019, I will be touring Europe.
Oh, how cool.
Yes.
What part of Europe?
I will start in Munich.
Okay. There's a Trader Vic's in Munich.
I know, I've been there.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, go to Trader Vic's while you're there.
A couple years ago, I took the train from Basel, Switzerland to Munich, and I checked into my hotel. The first thing I did was go to Trader Vic's.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was literally the first thing. Oktoberfest was going on.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, I don't know what Oktoberfest is about, so I'm going to Trader Vic's.
I'm that person too, right? I mean, Oktoberfest in Germany it's cool,
it's
right?
awesome.
It's what it's
It's awesome.
But as a tiki guy, I would probably pick Trader Vic's first.
I went to Trader Vic's, and it was lovely. And then as actually you could tell, like after Oktoberfest had finished, it started getting busier. So like all the people after Oktoberfest were there, and so I got to meet all kinds of like fun people that had been at Oktoberfest, and it was really neat. But so I'm excited to return to Munich because I didn't perform last time I was there. It was just for fun. So I'm looking forward to performing there, and hopefully I'll be adding a couple cities in Italy, and Germany, and hopefully Paris, and Madrid.
And there's a tiki bar in Paris.
Yes, Dirty Dick. Yeah, I've been there.
And you've been there too. Times. Okay, well, I don't know why I'm telling you this. You already know. So.
And actually, a fella that I know is good friends with the owner.
Yeah, Scotty
from Dirty Dick. Yeah. Okay. So when he mentioned it, I'm like, oh, of course I know that place. Like, I love that place.
Scotty's been on the show a couple times. I love Scotty.
Oh,
he's
nice.
Great. Yeah, he's
That's
a lot
awesome.
of fun.
Very
and
cool.
He's really funny. So
nice.
So for all our listeners out there that want to hear Scotty's sense of humor, it's hilarious. So go back and look at the archives to listen to that.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I love that place.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet.
It's super fun.
You know why they call it Dirty Dick, right?
I don't.
Okay, so
do tell.
It used to be. It's in the red light district. Mm-hmm. It used to be a whorehouse. That's why they call it Dirty Dick.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Right?
That is so perfect.
So when they took it over, he's like, I'm not changing the name. We're going to keep it Dirty Dick. And people still to this day walk in thinking that it's a whorehouse, looking for action. Isn't that funny?
Oh my god!
And it's a tiki bar now. So he's like, yeah, we don't do that anymore, but do you want a drink? That's funny.
I guess next time I'm there by myself, I won't be surprised if somebody asks me. So.
Yeah, well, just be careful.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool! I love that.
I love that kind of stuff too. So
that's so cool.
Let's throw your social media out there for anybody who maybe wants to catch up with you and try to see a show that you're in.
Yes, please do follow mostly Instagram because I rarely get on Facebook. But on Facebook, my fan page is Ruby Champagne Burlesque. And Instagram is at Ruby Champagne. Twitter is at Ruby Champagne.
And your website?
Website is www.rubychampagne.com, which also has links to all the social media.
Very cool.
And you can also contact me there if you'd like to hire me for private events. I also perform for birthday parties, bachelorette parties, birthday weddings. Like I've performed at a wedding, or I've done Cigarette Girl. Like I walk around with a little tray.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah, they hired me to walk around with a little tray.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, party people. You know where to find Miss Ruby Champagne online. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much,
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks. And for all of our listeners out there that have any questions, comments, or just want to leave a shout out for Ruby, hit us up on the group page on Facebook, Inside the Desert Oasis Room. You can go to the website to listen to previous episodes, desertoasisroom.com, or you can follow us on Instagram at Polynesian Pop. Alrighty, I'm going to give you a cheers.
And you can find me at the Bamboo Club.
At the Bamboo Club in Long Beach. Cheers and aloha.
Chin chin. Aloha.